Tim DTV. It's variety, the real footage show. Tim Davis.
For those who watch my YouTube channel, you probably already know that I enjoy the sport of bowling, as well as classic television, so I thought that it would be interesting to combine both bowling and classic TV in this edition of The Real Footage Show. Hello, I'm Tim Davis, and this is show number 47 of The Real Footage Show. And in this edition of the show, we are going to be talking about one of my favorite sports or hobbies, bowling, as well as classic television. Back in the 1990s, I began bowling for the very first time and have since then have been enjoying it off and on every now and then. I remember back in the 1990s, we lived near, in our neighborhood, there was a bowling center. And I remember my grandfather took me in a few times to see some of the people that were bowling in leagues at the time. And then not long after that, I went in with my family, and my dad, sister, and mom were there, and I decided to actually try it for myself. And I was very nervous at first, never having doing it before. And for the first few months or so, I was using the bowling ball that was provided by the facility, and of course getting the rented shoes and all that. But then as time went on, in the mid to late 1990s, I decided to get my own bowling ball, bag, and shoes. And not too long after that, we also were involved, my sister and I were involved in bowling leagues for quite some time. And we bowled at this center many a times, as well as being involved in league tournaments and stuff in various locations throughout the area over the years as well. So from about 1995 or so to about 1997 or 8, we bowled in leagues as well as on and off on weekends in the summer and the fall and winter and whatnot. But in 1998 or so, for some reason, I just decided to move on to other things, and I kind of gave it up for a little bit. And it actually was quite a bit, because it was about 20 years or so later that I actually decided to start bowling once again. Of course, being about 20 years later or so, in 2017, I started bowling again after about 20 years of not doing it. And it was kind of difficult to get back into it again because I haven't done it in so long, and my arm was killing me from not using the muscles in that arm from rolling the ball down the alley and whatnot. And of course, I had to get a new bag, a new ball drilled with the holes in it, because since I was younger, my fingers have grown, and I needed a new bowling ball as well as new shoes. So in late December of 2016, for some reason, I just decided that it was time again to start doing it. I was starting to get enthusiastic about doing it again. So in late 16 of December, I thought about that, and as early as February of 2017, I was back on the alleys again, rolling the ball down. And my highest game, I don't really remember what exactly it was, but I think as of more recently, in the more recent years, I think I got like a 205 or 210 or something, or it might have even been a 195. My average when I was younger was probably around 140 or 160, around there or something. But I don't think I might have gotten over 200, maybe just a few times. But again, a lot depends on how you're feeling on the on the day that you're doing it, and how much practice you get. I learned that more recently, that the more practice you get, the better you are at it. I can't talk today, but anyway, it is fun. I enjoy it, and of course, um, the most recent bag that I bought when I started up again in 2017, I had to get my favorite color, orange, the Brunswick orange bowling bag, which not only houses the bowling ball but also has a compartment for the supplies that you need or could need, and of course the shoe compartments on both sides. So when I was younger, I had this really big bowling ball bag that was almost like the size of a duffel bag, and it actually had room in it for two bowling balls, as well as shoes. And I remember before my sister got her bowling ball bag, I think she was storing hers in my bag as well. So that bag not too long ago was I think discarded or thrown away or something. So I kind of wish I had it now because there was a lot of memories with that bag and ball and whatnot. But um, this compartment on both of these sides, again, as I said, houses the bowling shoes, and I usually take a size 14 in shoes, but I think over the years that I think it actually I was missizing myself. I think it was actually a 13 that I actually take. A lot of times shoe sizes vary depending on the manufacturers and whatnot, but I got these Brunswick bowling ball shoes in this color red. Um, they actually came in a variety of different colors. Green was another option. I decided on red. I don't think they had orange at the time when I was ordering them, but these are the shoes. And then in the middle part, this middle part, I keep some things in here. This is one of those uh, things that you would use in bowling if your hands are sweaty or whatnot, and if you have oil on them and stuff. This is like a bag that you would rub on your hands, and it puts some kind of a rosin material on your hands to make it not as slippery, or to dry it out, basically, is what it does. And this here is for the bottom of shoes. Sometimes bowling shoes get sticky if you if it's humid in the facility, or if the floor is not clean near the alley, and even if you step on like soda or something up in the sitting area of a bowling alley, your shoes could stick on the approach as you're releasing the ball, which could lead to you in probably tripping and falling, which I have done a few times because of the slip or the sticky approach, or if it's too slippery, you could actually almost fall down on, your behind or whatnot. But this this is kind of like a rosin material or a little pouch that you could put on the bottom of your shoes, like rub it on the bottom of your shoes. And what it does is it prevents the this part of the shoes from sticking on the wood, and it just makes your glide and your approach a little bit more better. And it actually does work because there's one thing I cannot stand. It is sticky approaches when you're bowling, because like I said, you could easily drop the ball or go over the foul line or whatnot. So it's very dangerous, I think it is anyway, and also very embarrassing. And in here is of course my orange towel for the ball to wipe off the excess oil on it that could get on it. And in here is my most recent bowling ball that I got made in 2017, and this is a Brunswick slingshot, which was the variety that I chose at the time. This ball, it might not show up well on camera, but this ball is kind of like a swirl of orange and red. Of course, this is not my original bowling ball, but it actually does reflect on my first original bowling ball that I had drilled back in the 1990s was actually a red color. I think it was called Fireball or something. So this is kind of like a nod to that in so many ways. I didn't purposely. I actually wanted a blue ball when I was looking at the different varieties to choose from, but I decided on this because it kind of reflects on the very first one I ever had. The second one I had back in the 1990s happened to be a solid black 16-pound bowling ball. I think this is a 14 or 15 because I think the sizes have changed a little since then, or I actually went down in a size. But this is the ball that I most recently have been bowling with, the Slingshot Brunswick ball. And I find it interesting. It's nice to be back on the alleys again. going to different various locations throughout my area, bowling. And now the TV aspect of this, I don't want to forget that. Being a fan of bowling that I am and enjoying classic television shows, a lot of TV shows over the years, both modern and classic, have presented characters on their shows, whether they were having the sport of bowling as hobbies or whatnot. But two of the most popular shows that have the most bowling moments in it would probably have to be the Flintstones, the animated cartoon series, where Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble are in a bowling team, and they're constantly going bowling in their spare time. And of course, on the Honeymooners, you have Ralph Crandom and Ed Norton, who are also love to bowl. The crossover between the Flintstones and the Honeymooners, both being sort of similar with live action and cartoon. They both enjoy bowling. And then, of course, over the years, various other TV shows. The Brady Bunch is a popular TV show, and remember on that show that Alice and her boyfriend Sam the Butcher would go on occasion. They would go bowling. The King of Queens, also Doug and his friends on that show, also had a bowling team or league for a short period of time, and they would enjoy that for their activities. On The Odd Couple, I believe Felix Unger was in a bowling tournament once or twice or whatever. The Golden Girls were, I think, on the TV series The Golden Girls, they were also in a women's bowling league, I believe. And on Laverne and Shirley, Laverne DeFazio's father owned the Pizza Bowl on that show, which was a restaurant slash bowling alley, serving pizza and drinks and whatnot and beer, and the bowling alley. So that was the Pizza Bowl was a popular location on that show. And of course, I'm sure various other TV shows over the years, have used bowling as a background plot to a storyline and whatnot. I'm probably forgetting some popular ones, but I'm just trying to just give you a brief example as to some of the more common ones or the most well-known ones. So obviously, being a fan of both the sport of bowling and classic television, they intermingle into one another. And of course, if you know my channel and if you know the videos I've made, I always like to interconnect a lot of these videos to make them go well or blend well together so that you know what my common interests are and my hobbies and whatnot. So hopefully you enjoyed this 47th show of the Real Footage Show with me, Tim Davis. You found out a little bit more about some of my hobbies and whatnot. And again, if you're a fan of classic TV, you could probably remember or think of some other shows that had bowling in them as well. But again, as I mentioned, those were some of the more common ones and most thought of ones that would feature bowling in them. Would be the Honeymooners and the Flintstones. And of course, used in many other shows as subplots or whatever over the years. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to share them in the comment section on YouTube. And if you would like, you could thumb up this video and give it a thumbs up. And let me know what you think. You can also add me as a friend on Facebook if you like to, Tim Davis, Tim D Productions, where I share, have lots of fan pages on there for classic television, radio, film, music, and whatnot. And if you already haven't, you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Tim1TV, and you can see a wide variety of other videos that I've created, such as these, that are entertainment themed and a wide variety of other subjects as well. So for the Real Footage Show, thank you for joining us for show number 47, Bowling and Classic TV. Until next time, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And of course, I knew I was going to forget something, so here at the end of the video, I have to let you know that yes, I also did get bowling trophies over the years for being in leagues and whatnot, and even though they're not on display here in my room, I do have bowling trophies somewhere in the house. I think they were put away many years ago, but were never brought out and whatnot. But I did have a wide variety of bowling trophies, and I also did have an actual bowling pin here at one time as well. I'm not sure where that is, but it's not in the room at the time. When I was younger, we had a birthday party for... I had a birthday party at the bowling alley that I bowled at, and every person that had a party there would get an actual bowling pin from one of the lanes, and the people that were at your party would sign it with a magic marker. and as kind of like a remembrance of the birthday that you had there. So I did have that. I had the bowling pin with the names on it, and I had the trophies, and they are still here, but they're just not in my room on display or anything. But yes, I did get trophies, and I did get a bowling pin, and I knew I was going to forget something, and so I had to let you know about that. So again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
This is Tim D Productions.